When I first started building AI agents, I made things way too complicated. And this is the agent I wish someone had shown me on day one. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can use N8N, a free, open source workflow automation platform, to build a personal AI assistant that remembers who you are and can research anything for you on the web. You don't need any coding experience or N8N experience to follow along. So in this video, we'll build this AI workflow, which also includes tool calling. This AI-powered personal assistant has conversational memory as well as long-term memory. So in the chat, we could say, I love pizza. What is my favorite food? And because we told the agent within this conversation what our preference is, of course it will remember it. But what happens if we start a brand new session? But with this workflow, if I ask it, what is my favorite food? The agent will reach out to its persistent memory and give us our answer. How cool is that? These preferences can also be used when we ask it to do research. And I'm going to ask it, please recommend a restaurant in New York. And what our agent will do is actually reach out to grab our current memories. It will then perform a Google search. And look at that. Since I know you love pizza, here are some awesome pizza spots in New York. You can access N8N in one of three ways. The first method is completely free, and if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend starting there. In your command prompt or terminal on your machine, simply type the command npm install-g N8N at latest. This will download and install the latest version of N8N right here on your local machine. Then to start N8N, simply run the command N8N, just like this. Then simply open this URL in your browser, and you now have access to N8N. The second option is to pay for N8N's cloud service. In terms of pricing, N8N will cost you about 24 euros per month, but there's a cheaper way to host N8N as well. You can actually self-host N8N on your own virtual private server. The easiest way to self-host N8N on a virtual private server is with Hostinger. And you can deploy N8N for only $5 per month. Compared to the 24 euros per month, that's an absolute steal. Simply choose your plan, choose your period. Make sure that you've got N8N selected because this will one-click install N8N, and to get an additional 10% off, enter the coupon code LEON. Then from your dashboard, click on Manage App. And now irrespective of which process you followed, you can now follow along with this tutorial. From the N8N dashboard, we can get started by using one of these templates. But of course, we want to learn how to build our very own agent from scratch. So I'll simply click on the button that says Start from Scratch. Let's rename our workflow to My AI Assistant. Every N8N workflow starts with a trigger node. There are many to choose from. We can trigger the workflow manually or from app events, which basically means that if something happens in some external system, our workflow will be triggered. For example, receiving an email. We can run workflows on a schedule, like maybe every minute, every hour, every day, or every week. And we can also use an on-chat message trigger. Since we're building a chatbot, that's the node I will go with. Let's continue working on our agent. When we click on this plus button, let's go to AI, and let's add the AI agent node. This node might seem scary, but it's really not. If we go back to the canvas, the workflows always start at the trigger node, and then it flows from the trigger node into the next node. We can rename these nodes by right-clicking on them, and I'll just call this one AI Assistant. Our AI assistant needs a brain. So let's go to Chat Model. N8N gives us access to pretty much any AI provider out there. You can also use Ollama if you want to run models on your own machine. To keep things simple, I'll choose the Open Router Chat model. Since Open Router is a paid service, we do have to connect N8N to our Open Router account. So under Credentials, let's create a new credential, and now we have to provide an API key. On Open Router, you can simply sign into your account, go to Settings, go to API Keys, then let's create a new key, and let's call this N8N Demo. And I'll create this key, let's copy it, and add it to N8N. Open Router gives us access to all these different providers and models as well. For this video, I'll use Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 4.6 model. Let's go back to the canvas. And our AI assistant now has a brain. So let's click on Open Chat and let's say, hey. And if everything was set up successfully, we should receive our response, which we do. At the moment, our agent has no personality, it doesn't have a name, and it actually doesn't have memory either. For example, I could say, my name is Leon, and our agent is saying thank you, and our agent is saying, hey Leon, well watch this, what is my name? And our agent already forgot, all within the same conversation. First, let's give our agent a personality. We can double click on the AI agent node, and in this node, let's add a system message. We can use the system message to provide very specific rules and personality to our agent. So I could add something like role with a prompt like, you are a personal assistant called Luna. Respond in a warm and casual tone. We can provide additional context as well, like you are speaking with Leon and the current date and time is, then we can add these curly braces and we can pass in a variable now. This will inject the current date and time into the system prompt. And that's it for now. So we can actually close out this node. And in the chat, if we now ask, what is your name? Our AI assistant now has a name and it's responding in a different tone. Let's click on memory. And let's assign the simple memory node. We can tell the agent to remember the last 20 messages of our conversation. So this means we can now say, my favorite color is red. And we can ask, what is my favorite color? And because we assigned memory, the agent does remember our favorite color. But if we start a new session and I asked, what is my favorite color? The agent doesn't know. So this takes us to long-term memory. Thankfully, N8N makes this really easy. Let's go back to our dashboard and let's go to data tables and let's create a new data table. These are little internal databases that can store data and our agents can retrieve data from these tables as well. Let's call this memories. I'm going to add 2 columns to this. Let's call the first one memory key, which is of type string. And let's add another one called memory value, which is also of type string. And let's add 1 record to this table. For the memory key, I'm just going to call it something like favorite color. And for the value, let's say red, just so that we can test this. And now we can assign tools to our AI assistant. So under tools, we can connect our agent with a massive amount of different tools. What we're interested in is the data table tool. Under operation, let's select get, and then from the table list, let's select memories. Then under return all, we'll simply let the agent decide. We'll also let the agent decide how to order these results. Then let's rename this to get memories. What is my fave color? And what we'll notice is that the agent just reached out to the memory store. And of course, in the conversation, the agent is correctly saying that my favorite color is red. Let's also give our agent tools to store new memories and update existing memories. So let's add a new tool. Let's search for data table again. For the operation, we'll leave it on insert. For the table, let's select memories. And for both the memory key and the memory value, we'll simply let the agent decide. Let's also rename this to insert memory. Let's add 1 more tool. Again, we'll search for data table. For the operation, let's select update. From the list, let's select memories. Then under conditions, let's add a new condition. And we'll match the memory based on the column ID. And we'll let the agent decide the value. But I do want to give the agent some guidance on figuring out how to determine the ID. So let's add a description. And we'll simply say it's the ID as a number. Then in terms of mapping the values, we'll simply let the agent decide. And believe it or not, that's all we need. To make this all look a little bit neater, let's add a sticky note, which we can place just behind these nodes. Then I'm going to double click on the sticker and change the heading to memories, like so. In the chat, I'm going to say, actually, my favorite color is blue. Please update the memory. And our agent called the update memories node. And if we go back to our data table, we can see that the favorite color was now updated to blue. Dog's name is Ruby. The agent decided to add this as a memory. We can see a new record with the name Ruby. So that demonstrates the differences between short-term memory, like conversation memory, as well as long-term memory, which we can use to remember preferences about our users. To make our agent even more useful, let's also give it access to the web. With this, I'm actually going to assign 3 different tools. First, let's search for SerpAPI. This will give our agent Google search access. So I'm going to rename this to Google Search, and we do have to connect credentials. Simply go to serpapi.com and then sign into your account. And then from that dashboard, copy your API key and paste it into this field. Then I'm going to add a few more. So let's go to Tools. Let's search for Wikipedia. We don't have to provide anything in here. Simply move this off to the side. Let's add one more tool. Let's grab Hacker News. We don't have to set anything else here. In fact, we can let the agent decide the article ID. Then we can simply move this over as well. And to keep the workflow neat, let's add another sticky, like so. Let's rename this to Research, and we can also change the color. That looks way better. So let's try that out. I'm going to create a new conversation, and let's say, what's the latest news on OpenClaw? And we can see our agent is currently running the Google search node, and now we get our response back. How cool is that? One benefit of running N8N in the cloud is that you can access it from anywhere. But ideally, we don't want to chat to our agent using this workflow interface. Then we can go to our chat message node. Let's change this to make chat publicly available. For the mode, we'll leave it on hosted chat. And under authentication, we can set a username and password to access our chatbot. Under the initial message, I'm just going to change it from Nathan to Luna. Then let's publish this again. And now if we copy this URL and open it in the browser, we have access to our chatbot and everything still works. Under options, you can also add additional things like allow file uploads. Let's enable this. Let's publish this workflow again. And now when we refresh this chat, we're able to attach files to the chat. Like I'll just upload this thumbnail and ask it, describe the image. Luna should describe this thumbnail over here. So it looks like a YouTube thumbnail or promotional graphic. Here's a breakdown. It's got a pink neon glowing icon that resembles a network or node, possibly representing a tool like N8N, and the text Claude Code, etc. If you'd like to learn how to build AI solutions using tools like Claude Code or N8N, then check out my school community. We've got structured courses for tools like N8N and Claude Code, and a vibrant community of like-minded people who like to build real solutions using AI. And if you join now, you'll be locked in at $7 per month and you will not pay more when this fee goes up after 1,000 members. I hope to see you there. Also, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this other video, so click on the card on the screen. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.